Entering our next series here very fast between Epic and PiLiPiLi. Our first map will be Prion Terraces. We are loading in now. And to start this off, spawning in the top left, it is our green Protoss, Size Storms, PiLiPiLi.
And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, the red Terran player from Deadly Gaming, it is Epic. Aw, yeah.
So Epic's a pretty good Terran. Do you know much about his playstyle, DrennoC?
Not that much. I have seen him play really heavy bio, which is essentially saying he's not one of those weird Terrans that plays mech. Pretty much all I can give you on Epic, but I have seen him in a number of tournaments recently, and I love that he's this good and called Epic, only because there's so cool names in like gold to platinum that you'll always see whatever when you're looking around, like that's a good name. You should become pro just because you have a good name. No, this guy, he's on it. It looks like Epic will be opening up not Reaper. It's going to be a reactor into some Marines. Also going up for a very early scout. Does not want to take that chance versus Protoss.
Yeah, you never know. And you can do some funny things on this map too. But it looks like Pili just going to go for a quicker expand again. Probably the normal opener we've been seeing a lot here from PiLiPiLi when it comes to PvT. And we'll probably see Blink Stalkers again, just a guess there, but it wouldn't surprise me at all.
So it'll really be in the ballpark of Epic to say, okay, how are you going to defeat the Blink Stalker? It's very commonly known that that's what PiLiPiLi enjoys to do. He is mixing in Adepts, but he likes opening up that Blink Stalker. For now, as I was mentioning, Epic simply going for a fast expand with a reactor instead of that Reaper. Of course, reactor and Reaper both 50 gas apiece, so you can just make the decision. You know what? I want to go double Marine. I want to get a quick bunker. But I'm very curious for Epic. Just is he going to be going that siege tank style, or I don't actually know the other style for TVP. Siege tank is pretty much how you defend that, or you go, I guess, mass multi-pronged drops. How does that work?
Yeah, you could, but siege tanks can be pretty good at the same time. So, you know, that's a good question.
I'd bank it off tank. So you're gonna get the tech lab on the factory anyways to get a cyclone to defend warp prisms. So you might as well move into that siege tank.
Yeah, and the factory is coming out. We will probably be seeing that cyclone coming out of that. Cyclones have a huge range, and they are pretty good at taking down those warp prisms. And they kind of shut down a drop, especially when somebody isn't watching their warp prism.
I think that is pretty much the meta at the moment, as you're saying, with Siege Tank Bio. Just a question of how quickly are we going to see these third bases taken? How gutsy does Epic feel? But right off the bat, we see PiLiPiLi moving out with his Warp Prism Adept and just kind of poking. Twilight Council also on the way for an early blink. And I like this early poke from him because if it doesn't do damage, the Adept can pull back. But Epic is not playing how we saw our previous Terran player. He doesn't leave just 2 Marines in the bunker. He has a total of 4, and he will be able to get rid of those Adepts if they don't shade in.
Yeah, and PiLiPiLi looking like he's going to at least poke in with his Mothership Core to just kind of see what's up. He sees that tech lab. Not too surprising there. He sees the starport. Might get a couple SCV kills here. Meanwhile, the Adept does kind of move into the Nat as well. The Mothership Core, it needs to be careful. You can't lose a Mothership Core this early. If you do, it can be quite a problem.
I think he's gonna have to teleport out of there. It looks like in the end the Mothership Core will teleport out because there's a cyclone on the way that would be able to push it back. PiLiPiLi playing his normal thing at about not even 4 minutes. What do we got behind this? At about 3:30, getting up his extra gates, getting that Blink Stalker attack going. However, we see Epic making a bigger deviation than our last Terran player. He most likely will be pumping siege tanks, but going for an earlier Liberator, which I do like, but with big Blink play, it just gets so much into your face. I don't think the Liberator is worth it, and you might as well go siege tank medevac and just hope to out-micro your opponent.
Yeah, that's a good point. While Liberators can, they can provide some harass, you can put down a Liberation Zone. If you've got a push coming towards you, that's not necessarily the case with Blink Stalkers. Blink Stalkers can just blink out and take out that Liberator, so...
I like what Epic's doing, but I'm a little bit worried only because he has no upgrades to go with it, doesn't have combat shields, doesn't have armor. The Stalkers will be able to kite for a little while, but the blink is a minute 20. It's only about 40 seconds off at the moment. Actually, I guess the Wikipedia was wrong. We were just looking at how long it took to do blink, And in-game, it's changed. It's 1 minute, 21 seconds.
Oh, yeah. That Liberator is going to do some harass behind this attack that will actually catch that third, but PiLiPiLi, he's moving forward, trying to catch what he can and save his third. However, the Cyclone doing a pretty good job at taking some shots there.
With not being done, the Stalkers have to pull back a little bit, while allowing the Liberator in the main to get damage done. The Mothership Core is barely going to be there in time, but I'm not sure the Photon Overcharge will be able to reach it. 4 mineral patches are shut down, and now this third base is going to be canceled. Just as I do it, the very early pressure right before the Stalker blink is done, and then with the Liberator getting a little bit of damage, but just not allowing PiLiPiLi to reinforce as quickly, is gone perfectly for Epic, allowing him to snipe that third, pull back, and lose four or five Marines?
Yeah, and the Liberator, but overall, like we mentioned, it did prevent PiLiPiLi from mining there for a little bit, and it actually forced some of the Stalkers back as well.
After canceling that third Nexus, Epic has no intention of playing a macroeconomic game. He's going to finish the game from here. Added on 2 extra racks. We have stim and combat shields on the way, and also +1 attack. However, PiLiPiLi is going for a big blink into the main. There's the Observer up there. Liberator is going to try to shut it down, but I'm not sure if it's going to be fast enough. Marines and siege tanks are getting ready. The Cyclone really is going to be the linchpin of the defense to push back these Stalkers, but for now, they cancel the combat shields of PiLiPiLi and, of Epic, and Epic actually pulls all his SCVs of the main to heal one tech lab that never was touched.
Yeah, that was the stim tech lab, so Epic was really making sure that one stayed alive.
At the moment, PiLiPiLi is adding on 2 forges. He does like this longer macro game, but he did take a little bit of early damage. However, in that early damage, it forced out more Stalkers from him, which is now letting him rebound off of that and deny the third of Epic. But Epic now is only putting down his third CC. Before, he was totally planning on making a big 2-base play. And once again, PiLiPiLi is going to blink up into the main, and I think he's just going to cancel most likely both these racks.
Yeah, one gets canceled right before it is about to go down. The Stalkers, they are forced back a little bit by the tanks and the Cyclone. However, the next barracks also is forced to be canceled.
Stim is just done quick enough. These Marines do not have the tools to actually be able to engage with this bio.
Yeah, and there is actually, again, the Dark Shrine that PiLiPiLi usually puts down behind this. It has gone down. It is in production.
Bunker is salvaged. Tank will push this fight back, but still the third CC for a long time has been denied, and the third Nexus of PiLiPiLi is up and running perfectly. DT Shrine off the back of this, and I love that PiLiPiLi is not super changing his play style at all. It's simply, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm just poking and prodding, and if I see that opening for my Stalkers to fight all alone, I will do that. Looks like he's going to go for another blink. There's only 1 siege tank here, and the Stalkers are going to get right on top of it. At the same time, the natural base is not much having the natural base. Siege tank's like an interesting position. I like this, but I'm not sure if the bio can fight 1-for-1 with these Stalkers. Maybe they can. Looks like they will be able to. And the third CC is canceled. Or is taken out. It's destroyed.
The Stalkers
and feel confident that now Epic has to make a 2-base play.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe at this point PiLiPiLi is just going to macro up before his next attack here. As getting that third CC was a pretty big deal. It looks like at the same time, Epic, I think he realizes that he wants to get some damage done. He is also moving across the map. So PiLiPiLi does need to defend this. And I think he probably figures this is coming just after all the damage he has done.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's one of those things where he knows that he's forced it now, and now all he has to do is defend. Nice playing forward to take out a mule that was flying down. Siege tanks trying to get into a better position. 4 siege tanks in total. Not that many adepts with PiLiPiLi, but there's not the same amount of bio as in the previous games to defend these siege tanks. Siege tanks look like they're going to have to pull out of here. One of the medevacs is destroyed. Another siege tank is taken out. And there's 3 Marines, a Marauder, and there's a DT even for PiLiPiLi. He's going to completely shut this down. Blink straight on top of the army. Takes them out, and there's not the bio to supplement that mech to allow it to actually be able to shell PiLiPiLi's force and get the damage done. I think PiLiPiLi's going to waltz across the map and finish off this game.
Yeah, the army supply right now hugely favors PiLiPiLi, 88 to 56, and he is just coming across the map. He is just ready to go in for the kill here.
Looks like there is a third CC now, but I'm not sure there's enough army for Epic to be able to hold this. Maybe if he gets the sickest Liberator shots ever, but there's not enough bio again to supplement those Liberators to allow them to just not do anything when the Blink Stalkers blink underneath them. Adepts get behind the bio. The Siege Tank is a little bit confused. but to shoot at Stalkers will take it out. Oh, it will barely get away. But again, in the end, Medevac's taken out, and PiLiPiLi will overwhelm Epic after denying a third CC, taking it out and getting up into the main. Epic's really just, his growth has been stunted. There's the GG. I said, I loved what Epic was doing, and he pressured early, but then he cancels the Nexus of PiLiPiLi. PiLiPiLi goes, okay, cool, let's add on a couple gates, let's add on some Stalkers, and you've committed a little bit too much to this two-base play, and then PiLiPiLi moves over to the other side of the map, pressures Epic, and Epic tries to fight back, realizes he can't, and then he throws down his third CC. So really, Epic the entire time was planning on finishing PiLiPiLi off on two bases, and then it's like, okay, I'll be indecisive and take a CC, and then that's canceled. So overall, like, Epic's plans completely thrown into shambles.
Yeah, Pili really shut those down. One thing I also remember is that there were Liberators, but like we said, with those Blink Stalkers, they really didn't get much done.
I like the
further units.
I like the Liberator, but I think it's one of those situations where, oh, I need to keep my macro up. Let's make a few Liberators. I need to force stuff out. I have a Siege Tank. I don't have two factories, though. I'll make some Liberators where they could be all right, but as I've said, without bio to hold off the Stalkers from blinking underneath them, Stalkers just blink underneath them, focus them down, and you lose one or two Stalkers for a Liberator that costs 3 times the amount of the Stalker.
Yeah.
Twice the amount.
Here we